Hello, everyone. Welcome to this fabulous spiritual spotlight series with the wonderful Christopher from the Blue Rose Mystic. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Christopher. I'm so happy you're here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome, everybody. It's a pleasure to meet more new friends.
I love it. So what I love about Christopher is he's an intuitive reader who is very guided by his spirit team, and he channels in a very fabulous way. And I have to say, I love the way you read the tarot cards, and you've developed your own oracle decks, correct?
Yes, my guides, I've been reading now 2 years, and my guides helped me build my decks because I picked up a tarot card deck, and no shade to tarot, love tarot to pieces. I watched many tarot card readers online. It wasn't working with me. And I'm like, okay, I need my own thing. Help me, my guides. So they did. They're like, get a pen and paper. And then they just started going and going. Cards, meanings, what I should do for imagery. So that's how I built my decks. I started with my blue deck, and now I have a blue and a red deck. And I'm in the second incarnation of each. Hopefully to get to a third incarnation.
Now, one thing I do want to ask you is, how did you come up with the Blue Rose Mystic?
Well, first of all, blue is my favorite color. I don't know if anybody can tell.
No, not at all.
I love blue. And what I ended up doing was the blue rose. If you Google it, it means the unattainable. That's just ridiculous. No. We need to achieve the impossible. Blue rose standard to me is all about achieving the impossible and going for like beyond your dreams and better. So I just thought mystic would be a better incorporating term. I'm saying intuitive reader. I do it's just a lot of different moving parts, as you know, because I've read you. There's a lot of moving parts and stuff when I'm reading. So I just wanted to be all incorporating with the title, The Blue Rose Mystic. But yes, intuitive reader is fabulous as well.
Now, have you always had a feeling that you're intuitive, like since you were a child?
Yes. So fun story. When I was 8 years old, we had our house right here, and about a block away were my grandparents. So everybody was within like 15 minutes. It was a really great setup, so we could all get together for lunch, and it was wonderful. So what happened was when I was 8, I think it was about 8 o'clock-ish at night, what ended up happening was all of a sudden it just started coming in. And at that time, I didn't know what it was. So I was just parroting what I was getting, which was something's wrong with Pa, something's wrong with Pa, something's wrong with Pa, for about 30 minutes. Mom was almost in the car after 15. Mom was in the car after like 15 minutes and is like, yeah, no, too much. So I go to bed and I wake up at about 10-ish, I think it was. And our next door neighbor, Aunt Linda, was there. I saw her with her paper. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Is everybody okay and stuff? And she says, oh yeah, everybody's fine. Your parents are at the hospital. Your grandfather collapsed right after they left. And my mom's like, he's got it. So that's my first instance story of having a bit of this. He was fine afterward.
So was Pa okay?
He was okay. He ended up in the hospital for a little bit. But he was okay, yeah.
Now I have a question. Was all of your family, like, are they also intuitive like you are, or are you kind of like a lone wolf?
Oh, no. It runs down my mom's side of the family, yes.
Nice. So you've always had like kind of a welcoming environment for your abilities and your talents and your skills.
Yes, it was more just kind of going through day by day. I mean, starting to do readings for people was the first like work for everybody else that was going on. I mean, if I got an impression or I was empathing, somebody had pain, I would call all my friends and I'd be like, okay, knowing what's going on with everybody, I'm like, all right, who's got the knee pain? I mean, it was great when you're at high school and you have to try and blend in, and then your grandmother falls and all of a sudden you're carrying your books and it's like, crap, my legs. And I like dropped everything.
Wow.
Yes. So it's okay.
So have you developed skills to kind of like shield yourself with all of this information that's coming in?
Yeah. So over time, from when I started to where I'm at now, my team and everybody on it really knows just come in an organized manner. And I really try to keep the empath thing only for when I'm reading. I mean, I'll still get it. I mean, I'm not going to turn it off, but I mean, I told them like predominantly I want it when I'm reading, not like other times, because I need to know what's me versus what's not, which can get a little bit confusing. So yeah, but it ended up becoming much more of an organized style over time. And they'll just come through and give me messages, or I'll get imagery in my head. I mean, I'll hear them. It's, as my friend Donna would say, it's absolutely ridiculously hard to talk to me on a phone, because am I talking to you? Am I talking to them? Or, it's always a fun experience trying to talk to me when I'm talking to them. And it's like, oh, I try to be like an air traffic controller sometimes.
So as like, because I can tell like when your energy is very expansive and it's very like, do you have like a harder time like reining it in, when you're kind of doing the day-to-day type of business type of stuff?
Well, it's more or less, yeah, I need to ground better. Everybody always tells me I need to ground better. It's very true. I mean, I've got enough crystals to take down a horse, but I mean, yes, I need to ground better. But through the day by day, it just depends. If I'm supposed to call somebody, they're like, oh, hey, you should go have lunch with so-and-so. I'll just call them with something. It's very, when I had been, I was doing working with plants in the past fall, they would pop in during the day, and, I would just like have the conversations in my head because, hello, you're in public. You don't want to look like that person. But, no shade to that person. But, no, it's not terribly difficult.
Nice.
It's much more, over time, it's gotten easier, let's say.
No,
And it's not that
the one thing I've noticed about you is you're definitely someone who follows your intuitive guidance, which I would say a lot of people kind of shut that off. So do you find that it's helped you in your day-to-day life? Like, oh, maybe my guides are telling me don't turn left, turn right. I mean, I know it can be something simple, but when you're tuned in,
it doesn't matter how small it is. If you have it, always trust your instincts and always trust what you get, because if you don't, I mean, it's a choice. It's a choice to not. And it always is charming if you're like, but what could possibly happen? Why not? It's like, yeah, no, you don't want to bump into the why not as much. I mean, it's a learning curve if you do. It's not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, no. I just listen. Yeah. I mean, I listen to them and they're just guiding me around and stuff. And, if they've got something they want me to go do, it's like, okay, cool. I mean, one of the best examples of it was I was up in Toronto, Canada for a few weeks I think it was 2019. And I was asking them because I had gone through my list of stuff. It's wonderful up there. It's definitely the best way to get around is to Uber. But I had gone to the House of Energy and I had met a fabulous friend, and I was like, okay, I've done everything on my list. Is there anywhere else I should go? So they gave me the name of this street. It's like way over here. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go over here because I want to go say bye to that person because I'm going to be leaving soon. I've already done everything over there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do that. Hop my Uber, go over. So I leave there and they're like, start walking. And I'm like, okay, I just get like, I should walk. I'm not going to call an Uber. And then they just told me left, right. And I was walking for a while. I mean, it was a nice day, don't get me wrong, but I was guided multiple blocks. It was a long walk to the exact street. And I'm like, fine, I yield. Please. I'm like, okay, you've proven your point. Where am I going? They're like, you'll know it when you see it. I'm like, of course I'm going to know when I see it. If it's just, cryptic, of course. So I'm going up. I'm like, oh, it's a church. They're like, no, it's not a church. And I looked down the block and there was a fantastic arboretum of plants. It was this gorgeous, it was so me, like me in a nutshell. I love plants. It was gorgeous. I ended up doing light work there. I met this fabulous older lady and we were talking. It was just perfect. Divine timing at its finest. So,
I love that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I actually love Toronto. I used to live in Canada. So that's, Canada is the best, isn't it? It's so different.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Except for if you have a child there. That's another story for another time. Like, don't.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a little trickier.
Yeah, my older son he's dual citizenship. So I had him in Canada. So I'm always like, do you ever want to go back there? Free health insurance, like.
Yeah.
So what I really enjoy about you is your reading style is very different than a lot of other intuitive oracle card readers. So if you wouldn't mind, like kind of talking a little bit about your process, if you don't mind.
Oh my gosh, yes. All right. This is okay. Everybody sit down. This will totally be awesome. So, what happens with me with a reading is basically I have my decks, I put them out, I do my little selenite thing, I do my protection, I open it up and make sure everybody's protected and stuff, everything's good. And what I originally was doing, they're like, oh, you need to be a reader early on when I had my deck. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
great. How does one do? I'm like, do I need a card spread? And I'm like, I don't know how to lay these out. So I'm like, make any jumping cards obvious was the first intention I had put into my first deck. So then all of a sudden I started shuffling and the cards just started shooting out. And I'm like, okay, it's not just like, oh, it's a chunk of the deck and I'm just spaz. It's like distinctly boom, boom, boom. I mean, it hit me between the square between the eyes a few times. Not a bad thing. I'm fine. Don't worry about it. It's just a card. It's not a terrible thing. So what ended up developing is I will just do a baseline. So a reading with me is open up, protection, get started. I will do a baseline spread is what I call it, which is basically, if it was you, Rachel, it'd be like, all right, tell me what's going on with Rachel and where she's at. And that's where you're at right now. If there's anything that comes out that needs to be chased down, I will relentlessly chase it down. And then it basically goes to an open panel of, after that's sorted out, it's just, you can ask whatever questions you want. And if I get a brick wall in my head, I can't answer it at that point in time. I did, however, have a recent reading where I had a fabulous person come in and I got a brick wall in one reading, and 2 or 3 sessions later, it cleared me, went another 500 feet. So my cards will just lay themselves out. So once I'm doing that baseline and I'm shuffling, they're just gonna go and they'll lay themselves out. I try not to touch them because I want them to stay where they're at. I'm not gonna try and like arrange them. It will make its own story. So it works really well, and then it's awesome. I mean, anybody can come through, gods, goddesses, beings, angels. I mean, I've had fire beings, I've talked to dogs. It's quite interesting lately with the doggo. It's very entertaining with animals always. I mean, it's really, really cool. I mean, I even had a pharaoh come through. It's really fun. And I mean, I can always try and call grandma if you want, but if grandma's making cookies, you might not answer the phone. So I'm always willing to try though, of course, with the mediumship end. So more times than not, they're going to show up anyway. So it's not that they don't love you if they're not showing up. It's just they might be busy. They have a lot of stuff. I mean, universe and stuff. So yeah.
Do you find that when you're giving a reading to someone that an aspect of the reading is also for yourself?
Oh yeah. Yes, it is so it's like, oh, well, this is going on with me. Great. But this is their reading. So I need to keep it, I'm like, this is interesting how this lines up. And the universe is just like, and it's like, yeah. So it happens a lot.
Yeah, I find the same thing. And I also find themes. Do you find that as well? Like you'll kind of have a run of the same theme of topics like, oh, empowerment. Oh, this.
Yeah. So what was the latest on all of that? I had been connecting people, what was it, last 3 or 4 months? Was it 3 or 4 months? Was it that recently? One of the themes, regardless, I'm not going to timeline it. One of the themes that I ended up getting for a good chunk of time for multiple readings was the gods and goddesses wanted to connect with who they had worked with in past lives. Most times it was in past lives, either that or they wanted to work with people. So they would come down and pretty much reintroduce themselves. And it was like reconnecting people with that. A recent one was a lot of cycle clearing. So basically I have a card, it's an infinity sign in my deck. And what it does is it's either that it's go with the flow, go with the flow. More times than not, it's that there is a cycle unbroken that needs to be broken. And I have had certain beings helping me with clearing all of that out, and they've offered to help. It's basically a lot of clearing out. And I mean, now looking at this year, I mean, it makes a lot of sense why. And it's like geomagnetic sunstorms now. I'm like, okay, this is a party always.
Are there any like certain types of readings that you're like, wow, that was phenomenal?
Yes. So it's very interesting. So I ended up reading for this one person, and it was my guides were like, you need to read for this person. So I'm like, okay, come on. I please feel free to come by. They want me to read you. Please come on by. And sat down, set it up, did everything I normally do. I sat. Oh my gosh, it still blows my mind. I sat and I literally went through this person's entire, like, they just started telling me information, and it was their entire like career. where they should be. This is who they're going to meet. Go here, there. It might meet this person, but it depends. There's a lot of free will stuff in between. It was like insane. I'm like, just write everything I'm saying down I'm never going to remember it. One other thing with me when I read, it's like Katie Manning Hilton always says, she gets psychic amnesia and stuff. It's just gone. So yeah, unless it's pertinent, I'm not going to remember, or if they want me to bring it up. I mean, I'll look like I'm a deer in headlights if you're like, oh, hey, remember that? I'll be like, maybe, just give me a chat, give me a second. And it's like, nope, it's like glazed over. So
I love that.
But yes, that was a phenomenal reading.
Yeah.
I don't usually, I mean, yeah, you might get something career here or there. The whole blooming thing was career. It was wild. I loved it.
That's intense. Now, are you creating any other decks that you're actually going to put up for sale?
I see, I've been asked before if I'm going to sell my deck and like make copies for my decks and stuff. I think that I might eventually sell copies of my deck and stuff. I want to get them much more professionally done and stuff. I mean, they're very pretty now, don't get me wrong, my cards, but I want to have a very polished look to them, which everybody knows, like, oh yeah, no, he would want it polished. But not right now. I'm not currently going to be selling my decks, but I would definitely explore that in the future. And then I think it would be really trippy based on my reading style to see what would happen if somebody else used my cards, and if they would shoot out, or like how somebody else would use them and interpret them is just fascinating to me.
Oh, I love that. Now I have let's see here. I like, do you ever have like a question pop in your head and it's like, oh, it's gone?
Oh yeah, no, that happens. Yeah.
I was like, wait.
The term, I'm like, tell me again. It's like, yeah.
I like that. Now, because you work with a lot of different beings, from angels to ascended masters to spirit guides to crossed over. Can you tell that you're in different dimensions when you're pulling them down, or do they all kind of feel the same to you?
Well, energetically, it's kind of transitioned since the start. I mean, originally I'm seeing them and then I'm hearing that, and I can kind of, once you get that energetic signature, you can kind of recognize everybody. So what I've done recently with all the energetic shifts is I say, if you're coming through, I want to see in my mind's eye so I know who I'm talking to. That's how I've done it recently. But yeah, no, usually everybody's very distinct in how they're coming across, or they'll show up and then I know who I'm talking to. Yes.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Now, would you ever consider teaching how you read?
Yes.
Would you ever consider being a teacher?
I definitely would like to get into teaching. I am toying with doing a course currently, and I'm working on it. I'm going to hammer out the kinks, and I will let everybody know when that happens, and you, of course, and everybody here is totally kosher as well. You know, feel free. I'll let everybody know when that's in its final stages and it's all hammered out. But yes, I would like to get into teaching, because I would like to get more people. I feel like we need an introductory course. I feel like we have a lot of courses that are Reiki and this and that, but I took Katie Manning Hilton's course. It was a nice 2-day course. I think it was a 2-night course.
I took it too.
I love that course. That's where
I took it like forever ago. Yeah.
It was a long time ago. And I was like, that was such a good course. I feel like we need an introductory course. So I'm going to explore and work on that. And when I have a nice polished product, I will happily put it on blast, and we can all have a fabulous time.
I love it. I love it. Cause I feel like you're on this staircase. Like, you know, like you're just, I don't know, like this elevation up. It's very
funny. That's funny. That was actually one of my cards in one of the cards in one of the cards in my red deck was staircase. Are you ascending or descending the staircase?
What do you have what are your favorite oracle cards in your own deck?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
It's like picking a child, right?
Nice. No, you can't pick. Everybody's got their purpose. All the cards have their purpose. I mean, I have had straight flushes of positivity. I've had straight flushes. I call it a straight flush of just no. Somebody once asked me if somebody should be involved with business things. And they're like, I don't know who this person is really. I want to just get it down. I'm like, I'll just look. Why not? Every card that is just like, please, dear God, no, just no. And I'm like, yeah, just no.
Now I have a question. So
the favorite card?
Oh yeah, go ahead. And then I have a question for you. Yeah.
So favorite card wise, I mean, I have a rainbow card that's you know, everything's gonna be fabulous ahead, basically, sunshine and rainbows ahead. Fruits of your labor is always great. The fruits of your labor coming in, seeds and growth is wonderful. That's all about evolution, karma being repaid back and forth. But all of them are very unique and awesome in their own way. I really like them all. So it just depends.
So I have a question. So as a reader myself, I try not to steer towards negative, more like caution, and maybe try this. So are you like, okay, do you want to know it all? Or like, how do you kind of discern, like, because you may get that stop sign, and I know you have a stop sign in your deck, which I like. Like, are you ever like,
So what I will do is, if anybody wants to have a reading with me, it's always like, do you want to know everything? It's like what Lisa Williams always says, do you want to know everything? And if anything really serious comes up, I'm going to put a disclaimer and say, would you like to continue?
Gotcha.
Because if it's that, I don't want to cause pain. I don't want to inflict anything like that. Any sensitive stuff coming up, I'm like, I got something sensitive here. I don't want to cause pain or anything. But usually it's all, my readings I find are more preventative, like it's trying to go around the pothole. I mean, I have an unseen danger card in my deck. I remember when I was originally starting out, I chased that sucker for an hour and a half trying to get to the end of it. My guides are like, for heaven's sakes, just stop. You beat it into the floor. It's going to be fine. The person, now that they know it is there, they'll go around it. So yeah, more times than not, it would be more preventative readings. But I usually I will give what I get, but I will put up disclaimers, obviously, because, it depends if somebody wants to know all of that. Some people don't want to always know all of that, and that's totally acceptable.
I love that. I do have a question for you. Christy H says, hi, are there any goddesses, beings you share a particular affinity with?
Now, picking favorites out of them that's not okay. Look, everybody is amazing. I love all the gods and goddesses and everybody that I work with. They're all special in their own right. I mean, have the Egyptian pantheon, I've got Greek, I've bumped into the Norse, I've got galactic beings that are very fabulous. I mean, there's so many that I keep meeting. I always say it's like meeting old friends again. I mean, I can't, it's apples. I would first of all not like to offend anybody and pick favorites or anything like that. But at the same point, I always love working with all of the beings that are working with me. Yes.
I like that. Now, do you do any, like, because you're an intuitive reader, do you also do intuitive healings?
So healing is an aspect I have not really gotten into yet. I'm gonna, I can do mediumship. I have been doing a lot of mediumship lately because people want me to try. So I'm happy to try, and it's been really, really good. So I'm going to further my, I am going to get more into the mediumship end and sharpen that up. And I do want to try Reiki and some healing aspects and things like that, and get into a little bit of healing just to have some more things in the toolbox per se.
Because I can see you ultimately channeling a healing from your guides and your teams, and like saying, okay, I have this message coming in, but this healing's also coming in for you.
So I did end up doing a reading once, which was, I was asked to assist with a person who was a friend of a person that I had read for and I know. And I ended up doing a reading, and because I'm an empath, it was more what's going on with me kind of thing. And I said, I don't know, I'm just, this is an experiment. I said, I'm happy to try. I'm not going to guarantee results, obviously, for entertainment purposes only, but like, I still think I feel like, we could find a way to adjust for entertainment purposes only, but that's a sidebar for another day. But it was really interesting to go ahead and try and assess a person's body, and they're just starting to hit me with it. And I hit it out of the park, according to the person I was reading. So I've tried, but I would rather have a more formal teaching before I were to do anything in a professional sense. Yes.
I like that, but I can feel it coming in. That's the only reason why I'm asking, because I'm like,
yeah, definitely.
Anything else that you want to share with us before I open it up for more questions?
Oh, let's see.
Besides the fact that your favorite word is fabulous.
Yes, fabulous is it.
Oh wait, definitely. I have one thing. I do have one thing. I'm sorry. I'm very this evening with you. I apologize. So everyone, he does have the Blue Rose Mystic Facebook page that I definitely want everyone to make sure that they go and like. If you're on Facebook, please make sure that you like it. When I put this video up. I will make sure to link it, but I do want to say that before anything else.
Yes, please go like the page. I just got it up and running. There's blue roses all over it. You can't possibly miss it. I believe I'm the only one out there. Thank heavens for that. You know, no offense. It's totally fine if there are other people who want to
Blue Rose Mystic, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep. And any classes, anything I'm doing, I will be posting there. That's going to be my hub. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet more people and, you know, get into the teaching end of things and all of that. But I don't know, what do I want to talk about?
Because it's very interesting. I do feel like, you're on this precipice of like this massive expansion. Like I'm sorry. I just feel this coming in for you. And it's just like, I feel like all of your guides and your team, like you're in the arena and everyone's just pushing you forward, you know? Yeah. And you have this
That's where I feel like I'm at right now.
What, you do feel like that now too?
Oh yeah. No, that's definitely where I'm at right now. I feel like I have 8 million things going on all at once. And I'm like, I've got to get like focus.
I think that's why I have fluorite here, because as Archangel Metatron always comes forward to call on him and to help focus, use your lovely fluorite.
Definitely. Fluorite's wonderful. I don't know what else to really discuss, really. I mean, we've got the seasons changing. Does anybody have any questions? Let's open it to more questions.
Let's open it up for questions. If anybody wants to unmute themselves, just either put your hand up or something and we can open it up for questions. Okay, does anyone know that fabulous commercial where the girl's like, it's fabulous? Because Christopher does not know it. And I keep, every time I connect with him, I go, it's fabulous. In my head.
In a nutshell. Oh my gosh, that is literally
every time fantastic. I'm like, it's fabulous.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. Yeah. Feel free if anybody has anything they want to ask. It's always fun. I mean, we can always talk about the politics of, you know, should for entertainment purposes only just be filed under, should we get away, you know, throw that out and just file everything that's, you know, illicit out under like fraud, you know, and just not have to deal with that. So we can always talk politics.
You know, I do like our legal disclaimers that we do have to put on everything that we do.
Yeah, it's good. Better to have it than not, definitely.
Let's see here. Is everyone having a good Friday? Mary's saying yes. Yeah, Laura said yes, she's having a good Friday.
Wonderful.
Okay, I have another question for you. So with all of your bracelets and with it, do you wear them, like, is any like symbolism to you? Do you wear them to help you ground? Do you wear them to help you like connect? Are they just because they're pretty?
Well, I mean, pretty and fabulous is always good. Don't get me wrong. I started out, one of my first protection amulets was the Eye of Horus that I used to wear. I mean, I had a gold cross on my necklace, but I mean, it changed out a little bit. So the Eye of Horus was great. I absolutely love Horus to pieces. Athena and Horus and everybody are wonderful. Usually everybody's like, well, how do you get dressed and go out for the day, you know? And my reply to that is, I just ask them what I'm supposed to put on today. I mean, usually the Herkimer, I have my Herkimers on and they'll just tell me which crystals to put on, and that's how I go get ready for the day. I mean, my necklace and the Herkimers and Horus usually are always on. Yeah. And it'll depend if they want me to have my rings on and stuff, but I love my Herkimer diamond bracelet. It's gorgeous. Fabulous. It's got a nice bangle. I had seen something similar to it on Etsy, so I took it to my fabulous jeweler. Her name is Elizabeth Hart, and she does work out of the silver shop downtown on J Street. It's Pieces by Hart. Yeah, she's amazing. So I got the Herkimers across the street at my friends at Orion on J Street, who are awesome and have crystals too. I mean, of course, Tony Craft at Reiki Rocks has amazing crystals as well. There's so many places with crystals. I don't want to, I'm not throwing shade with anybody. So anyway, got all that together. And I said, I wanted to be after the constellation of Orion. So I got Herkimers. And then I said, I don't need the whole thing to be silver. They wanted the base to be silver. I'm like, of course. But I have copper wire and steel wire, and she just does amazing work. I told her to freestyle. I just wanted some roses because, of course, you know, I mean, come on. So, but yeah, that's got high levels of significance to me. I found my labradorite that I wear up in Montreal.
Yeah, that's really gorgeous.
And then I ended up first day going into the silver shop. She's like, oh my God, you got to see this ring. And I'm like, funny, I was looking for a ring. So, and then recently I felt like I needed to wear a key. So it is a cute little key that has a 4-leaf clover and it says luck on it. So a little bit of luck to have on. But yes. So,
and why do you feel like you need to wear a key, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know, but I was pulled to put the key on my necklace. I used to have a dragon I used to wear, but I ended up getting drawn to this key because the key in my deck, I have a key in my deck, which is that the universe will handle the situation basically. So I don't know, maybe a key unlocks something new.
I do have a question for you. Earlier in the in this call, you were talking about the different pantheons, like Egyptian, Celtic, Chinese, whatnot. Now, I'm new to like this thought of process about the pantheons and whatnot. And for me, it was like, if they came in, they came in. But I was told, and I want to know your opinion, do you mix pantheons together or are they separate?
So
are you laughing at me?
No, I'm not laughing at you. It's just I'm internally, I'm, you know, I have my audience here. I have all you fabulous people here, but I'm also, you know, I'm on right now. So I, of course, you know, I'm talking and having a lovely time and I can just feel what's
they're like
really fabulous. So what happened is I really kind of have, I don't really go like, oh, I'm only working with this pantheon. No.
Yeah.
If Horus and Tho are coming through, they're coming through. Tho usually has tons of information for everybody.
Right.
He's just been very busy. You know, I ended up recently meeting the Morgan, Celtic. Very nice. She usually, I see crows, I'm like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Same thing with Odin.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a conglomerate of many different beings from different areas, and I don't really be like, oh, I'm only working with you today, or I'm only working with you today, unless they ask for that, which of course I, of course, you know, and then, you know, angels might come in. It just depends. So they will work in conjunction, I find, in my opinion. So, I mean, if you want to talk to Hecate today, you can call and Hecate will show up and probably will be very, she always is in the know with everything she's got going on. You can call Horus in, and if you want to work with Horus that day.
Yeah.
If you're new to it, I would just start with one, kind of get to know everybody. And then, you know, if you've worked with people in past lives, it's just like picking up where you left off, really. So again, like meeting old friends.
No, it's just interesting because I've never heard that you shouldn't mix them. And then I was like, well, why not? Like, I don't know.
I mean, it kind of just happened in the way it happened with me. It's not like I had formal training or I was doing deity work. I mean, I once asked, who did I ask? I was asking, I think it was, I was talking to Horus and I was talking to all of them, but I was talking to them. I'm like, am I doing like deity work? Like, what is this? And the term that I keep coming back to is communing. I'm communing with them. That's the term that I come back to.
Oh, I like that.
It's kind of like an older way of doing it. It's like communing with the gods and goddesses. So it's not, I mean, in the witchier sense, respect to all the witchy peeps, it's more so to me that I'm communing with them. It's not in the same framework as like quote unquote deity work, at least the way I understand it right now.
Yeah, because I find that I work with angels, ascended masters, and they all kind of feel the same to me. Like you said, you get their signature impression, and then it's like a different, you're like, okay, this is Ariel. Oh, this is this person. Oh, this is that person.
Yes.
You know, and then lately, I'm going to share this. I've been having this real like smelling thing coming in for me lately. And it's like these flowers. And I'm like, who is this? Who is this person? And it's just like, okay. And then they're like making me work. And for you, it just sounds like you get them. And for me, I'm like, okay, I have a smell. I have a feeling. I have this. Who is this? What's going on? And it always happens at work. Come on. why it work, guys? Why it work, guys? And it,
I mean, maybe your brain relaxes at work because you're doing something you're so rote and know what you're doing that
so
you can
true.
just easily call them in. Because it's like you relax and it's like, all right, I'm going around here. And it's like, yeah. I mean, you could just, I mean, if you're working with gods and goddesses, you can always just put up like only ask God to surround you and protect you with your divine I've got to, okay. If you want to work with them, you can always put up God's protection. Like God's like, God, please surround me and protect me with your divine light. Please make sure the only beings working in or with your divine light are able to communicate with me today.
Yeah.
Just good baseline. Because then, I mean, you can just try and call in. I mean, you can reach out. If you reach out, they might answer. You never know. I mean, usually they'll probably, I would think that they would answer, heavens to Betsy, but I won't speak for them because they're not saying that. But yeah, that would be how I would go about it. And if you're working with the angels and stuff, the way I would say is, it's really easy when you can see, because they'll give you the image and then you'll know from the image and stuff. That's why I just put that up, because it makes it a little bit easier.
Nice. Yeah. For me, I definitely am a little bit different because it just pops in and then it's like,
And everybody's got their abilities. It'll happen differently to everybody. Definitely.
it is fun. It is so fun. Anything else you want to share about? I'm super excited about your class. I think this is going to be super fun now, would you teach a tarot class or would it be like a beginner class? Or oracle card class? I'm sorry, you don't read tarot, you use your own cards.
So I would probably go more on the oracle end of it, just because I think oracle cards are easier to work with. I think everybody's going to have their own opinions on that. I don't want to I don't want to throw shade or anything, but I personally will, if I'm going to teach, I'm probably going to teach with oracle cards first, because you can get more of an impression and intuitiveness to it. So I think that would be easier, but I think it's going to be more of a psychic development course. Definitely.
I love
Let's
that.
get a strong foundation for everybody. Get people who either have abilities and don't know what the heck they're doing with them. I say that with love and respect, obviously, but people who have abilities who have always kind of been going about and they're like, I need to know what I'm doing. Let's get them up and running. Let's get them a good stable foundation with a wide plethora, rather than just psychic, medium, shaman, whatever. Let's do a proper foundation is what I would be aiming to go for. And probably will be developing very soon. So stay tuned on that.
And then would you do different levels? Or would you like envision this to be like, okay, there's a basic and intermediate and advanced?
Well, from what I've received thus far, the way I view it right now is the course that I'm currently, it's them that's handing it to me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's getting handed to me. I'm really facilitating what they're putting up. So if they're like, get X, Y, and Z, A, B, C, I'm going to gather exactly that. Whoever's supposed to be in, whoever's supposed to be teaching, yada, yada, yada. It's going to be, they're driving. I'm really just the one here facilitating. I will happily, of course, help with oracle cards and whatever I can bring to the table to bring it extra sparkles and glitter. But yeah, I think I feel like we have a lot of very fabulous people out, but I think we need to get, I think that it's just like, I miss Katie's course because it was a great way to meet a lot of people in the field because of her Rolodex of peeps and stuff. So I think it'll be good. I think that's, definitely stay tuned. So I'm thrilled to bits and,
Laura said you had her at Sparkles and Glitter.
Definitely. Got to keep that going on.
I love that. Yeah, I did like Katie's course. It was a very good foundation.
Yeah. So, and I've had many mentors and people who I've met, like Miss Hathaway and Mary, and oh my gosh, I can't even thank them all enough for all their fantasticness and stuff with all of their amazingness and their assistance. And it's always fun because when you're like learning, it's teaching and learning back and forth always, which is always very fabulous.
That's for sure. Yeah. Elizabeth is amazing. Mary is amazing. Roseanne is amazing. Laura is amazing. Like everyone on this call today is just amazing and phenomenal. And
yes, and more people than me. I'll be honest, even more fabulous people.
So Chris, what Chris on here would like to know, how can she set up a reading with you?
So you can message me on the Blue Rose Mystic Facebook page. Or you can message, I have my phone number. I didn't exactly want to put my phone number out quite yet on Facebook because it's a public page and I already get enough calls about my car's extended warranty and other scary things like that. Not really scary. It's just like, why, how did you get my number? So, but yes, private message me and I will hook you up with my number. We can do it in person, over Facebook. Personally, I think in person is better. The cards fly. It's very nice. I mean,
But
literally.
they fly
just
on
all over
video too. They fly on. Chris is out. Chris is out of state, so she probably will not be
Oh,
in
heavens.
Iowa.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, we can do, Iowa, good. The Northern Lights were going to be showing up there recently because of the giant geomagnetic storm. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. I don't know if that passed or if that's tonight or yesterday. But yes, then by phone, definitely phone or video, obviously, we can set it.
Mhm. Oh, she's
Then I take cash and bill, of course. So yes.
said wonderful things.
Wonderful, wonderful. Cannot wait. It'll be it's awesome. I always love helping people. And as I always say, you know, it's the winds of destiny has always been my thing. And I used to say back in the day, it's like we're agents of destiny, whether you're complimenting the lady at the market with the purple hair and just saying, oh my God, your hair looks fabulous. And she just lights up and it just glows up the room. I mean, there's so much easy, simple light work. It doesn't have to be, you know, we're building now a lighthouse. It can be just brightening someone's day.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Anything else before we wrap up this call that you want to share, impart, anything?
Oh, okay. Well, okay, fine. Two things. They have a message, which is my mantra card, and it's a fabulous one to put up. It's, I always attract only the best of circumstances and the best positive people in my life. It's a good mantra, spread it out there, draw in some fabulous people. And also, I don't know who has a boat. I don't know what kind of, I'm getting this image of a boat. So sorry, but this is how I work. It's just flying out now. So there's this boat. It looks like it's by a dock. You've got a wood dock here. And on the left, it looks like there's a mast in it, but it's like got an open wood bottom. And it's like some sort of, it's like painted wood, but it looks like it's kind of sunk. So if you have a boat, check it, please, is what I will say.
Check on your boat.
Because it might be underwater. You might want to go get that, because, or tether it at least, because you can at least get a bucket or something. I don't know what that means, but I have that image in my head. So if somebody here has a boat thing, you might want to go bail it out. Maybe move it up onto the land a little bit. You know, don't drill a hole in it. Sun it. So yes.
Laura said she loves the boat reading.
I mean, if I get it, I give it. That's how it works. And I mean, I've had absurd messages. I mean, I've had wild things. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get. I mean, I had one person who I was like, okay, have you met somebody? And they're like, no. And they're like, oh no, they have met someone. And I'm like, okay. So then they said, ask about the dairy section at the market. And I said, okay, fine, dairy section at the market. Said specifically the cheese section. I said, okay, have you met someone in the cheese section? They're like, oh my God, yes. It's been a month and they've been talking to me and I'm like, cheese section.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Whatever works. So,
I love it.
It's always fabulous. So yeah, that's what I have to say. But I always attract only the best of circumstances and the best positive people in my life is a wonderful note for a mantra for everybody, and put out good vibes, plant some flowers for the bees, and obviously practice good fire safety when saging and stuff. Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm just going for it. Okay. Yeah, everybody check your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detector batteries. Make sure they've been replaced. That was actually mine. They actually made me put that on my fireworks card. So anytime I have my fireworks card pop out, it has been a thing, and it usually is the case. I mean, now there's the bylaw that it has to have like a 10-year battery anyway, but just be safe. So yes.
I love it.
That's what I've got. You know, you never know what you're going to get. It's going to be a fabulous time always.
So I just want to say, Christopher, thank you so much for being open and sharing your journey and talking to all of us about your amazing intuitive gifts. Once again, make sure to check out Christopher on the Blue Rose Mystic on Facebook. I will make sure to link his page. I will say that for our upcoming spiritual spotlight series, we have Elizabeth Hathaway, if she doesn't ditch. And then I have Katie Manning Hilton after that. And I have Jennifer Kaluska after that. And then I have Kim Partridge after that. I am booked with interviews through July. So we have tons of exciting people that are coming up. And once again, Christopher, thank you so much. I love your mantra. I want to make sure that I put it up when I do the video. So I'll make sure to add that as well.
I actually have that up on my page. It's funny. They're just like, hey, just again. I'm like, okay.
So grab it. I'll grab it from your page.
Yeah, so, I'll DM you anyway. Don't worry about it. I'll shoot it to you anyway.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to be ending the call now. Oh, of course.
Oh my gosh. And thank you all for coming. I cannot thank you all for coming enough, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Sunshine's included and fabulous for all.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you all. Everyone have a lovely, fantastic, fabulous Friday night. Bye.
Yes. Happy Fool's Day.
And happy new moon.
New moon. Yeah, there's 2 new moons this month. Prepare for whatever that is.
Bring it in. Bring in the new. Come on. New is all about bringing in what you want to manifest. What I want to manifest. Yep. Bring it in.
Let's get it going. Vibing up. Gotta get the vibes going.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Have a good one, everybody.
I love it.